Hi, my name is Troy Spiker, and today we're going to look into the transportation costs of the Rootstown Local School District. First, I do want to clarify that what is about to be presented is strictly the formula utilized by the Transportation Department that is then sent towards the general fund of Rootstown Local School District to pay for transportation of athletic events and practices. I would also like to note that up until a couple years ago, the Rootstown Athletic Department was responsible for paying half of the transportation costs for athletic events and practices. First, let's take a look at this transportation cost formula. It's broken down in 4 separate components, and I have the formula posted up there to the right of the title page. This formula is broken down into hours, driver wages, transportation cost percentage, as well as the distance. Looking at the time in hours, these hours are calculated from the moment when the bus driver reports to the bus garage, does her pre-trip checklist, as well as continues throughout the transportation to and from, including the time the bus is sitting at an athletic event, and it does not stop the time clock until the bus driver is back in the bus garage, has completed a post-trip checklist, and is clocked out. These time and hours are logged to the nearest half hour. Driver wages. In the later presentation, you'll see a flat rate pay of $14.51. This is a flat rate pay that is subject to change based upon the bus driver's years of experience and where that particular bus driver sits on the pay scale. The transportation cost percentage. This is a percentage tacked onto the formula to help cover some of the wear and tear maintenance fees that a bus may accumulate as it is traveling down the road. And then the distance. The distance is calculated prior to the trip by the Director of Transportation, simply by using MapQuest, Google Maps, by looking up the total distance or the direct route, safest route from Rootstown Local High School to the athletic event site, and then that mileage is doubled as they follow the same path back to the school. However, the most accurate way that the distance can be calculated, for example, the odometer on the dash of the bus is recorded prior to leaving the bus garage, and then again re-recorded when they return to the bus garage. That is the most accurate way, as well as it can support any special permission grantings for a athletic team who wants to go out to dinner, lunch, or make a side road stop during an athletic event. Based off of these 4 components of the transportation formula, you can see going back up to the formula on the top right side of the title, it is 2 components added together to equal your total trip cost. First, the total hours is multiplied by the wages. Again, the wages can vary depending on the bus driver based off their experience. Once you have that quantity, it is then added to the quantity of the transportation cost percentage times the distance. The transportation cost percentage is 0.60 times the total distance of the trip. Moving on, let's take a closer look at the Rootstown Local School District football schedule, particularly their varsity and JV level. And on the next slide, we'll talk about their middle school level. On the left side of the page here, I've designated the location, as well as within parentheses designating if it was the varsity program or if it was the JV program. You'll see next is the times column, rounded again to the nearest half hour. So West Branch varsity, the varsity bus driver was out of the bus garage or off campus for 5.5 hours. Again, driver wages, we just simply use 14.51 $14.51. That is the starting base rate for a driver. Again, that could be flexed upward depending on the year's experience of the driver. We then get a total. Again, we're looking at the quantity of time multiplied by the driver's wages to create one total. And then the second quantity is the transportation cost percentage, again, 0.60, multiplied by the distance. That also then will give us a total. And for the West Branch varsity bus trip, transportation cost percentage is 0.6. Total distance to and from the competitive site was 44.4 miles, giving us a total of $26.64. Once we have found these two quantities, $79.81 and $26.64, we then add those two totals together to create our trip total cost. The cost for that total trip was $106.45. Again, going down the list, you'll see the totals, trip totals for the entire high school football program, including varsity and JV schedules, for a season total for the two at $1,013.97. Take a look at the middle school schedule. The middle school program had a lot of home games this year. They were on the road twice this year. They traveled to Southeast as well as Garfield High School. Again, time column represented the nearest half hour. The initial base driver wages, creating a total there. Transportation cost percentage, again, 0.6. And the total distances to and from the competitive site is provided, creating another total for maintenance fees, creating a trip total for the Southeast Middle School game, $75.50, and the Garfield game, $98.41, making the football middle school transportation total season cost $173.90. The female program that we're going to look into is the fall varsity volleyball schedule. Again, they follow the same formula located up there in the top right of the page. On the left side, the first column is the location. Again, designated between varsity and JV schedules. Luckily, the varsity program, JV always travels with varsity, so that definitely accommodates transportation costs to the fullest. You'll notice on the third event, Alliance, they've traveled to Alliance High School. This must have been a middle school and high school event. Therefore, the middle school and varsity programs were all on the same bus. Again, optimizing transportation costs. Second column is time. Third column, again, base wages for the bus drivers, creating a total cost for that driver of that trip. And then your maintenance costs, which is your transportation percentage times your total travel distance, creating another total, and then adding up the two totals for driver costs as well as maintenance costs creates your trip total. For this past 2019 volleyball varsity and JV schedule, their transportation costs totaled $1,263.32. Looking at the middle school program, same formula, not as much travel. Again, location there on the left, total time and hours, basic driver wages of $14.51, creating a total cost of a driver. The maintenance costs, transportation cost percentage, 0.6 times or multiplied by the total distance to and from the athletic competitive event, creating your transportation maintenance total there. Trip totals on the far right, and your season total for the middle school program, excluding on the previous slide, the Alliance location. Again, that was part of the varsity program, as varsity and middle school all participated or rode the same bus. So the middle school volleyball 2019 fall transportation costs totaled $718.61. Together, try to bring in the whole big picture. Total cost for football high school, $1,013.97. The middle school football program was $173.90, creating a football program total of $1,187.87. The volleyball transportation costs for both high school and middle school. High school specifically, $1,263.32. Middle school program, $718.61, making the entire volleyball budget for transportation, high school and middle school, $1,981.93. I hope that this presentation provided you insight on how the Rootstown Local School District has developed, implemented, and uses the transportation cost formula. Again, currently that transportation cost is covered 100% by the general fund, but this breakdown also presents how, as of 3-4 years ago, the Rootstown Athletic Department was covering half of these total numbers. Again, thank you very much and have a great day.